Peace and blessings. You are now tuning in to the Woke Gods. Today, I wanted to talk about religion. Deeper into religion. Because it is the number one evil that has separated mankind and turned mankind into straight savage. Now, we all understand that these religions were created recently on the time scale of man. If you go and you check the time scale, how long we've been on this earth, and then you go and date a religion, it's a very small fraction of time compared to how long we've been on this earth. So what I want to get people to understand is that we have been doing and living on this earth way more advanced for thousands and thousands and thousands of years before religions as if today were ever created. So Kemet was built without a so-called religion. Sumer, every ancient monolith, every ancient statue was built without what we call today religion. The societies were way more organized. We still mimicking our societies today after these societies that didn't even have religion. So what I want to get to the show is, why do we feel that we need organized religion that comes from a source that we can go and study? We can study where the source of all religion comes from. So why are we dealing with the second-hand ideals of religion when these principles come from a original source? Why don't we just go to the source? Now, once we understand that these religions, while they condemn the ancient pagan or traditional spirituality ways, and they tell you that, oh, we came up with this new system that is gonna save you, and Islam will tell you that the ones before them was evil, Christianity will tell you that the ones before them was evil, and they come in to change everything. But it's funny how they claim to come change everything, but they use all of the same principles from the true spirituality, from the true spiritual principles. They using all these same ideals, but yet they claiming to come and save and change you. But the reality is that religion is a political tool. Since a religion was really first created, it has always been used to control people's spiritual growth into not going further than the priesthood. Because all of these spiritual practices are very good spiritual practices. If you go and you follow Christianity to a T, you will gain some form of enlightenment. And I say some, very, very little form. But you will gain some form of enlightenment if you follow it to the T. But the cool part is, with Christianity, you're going to have a hard time because it contradicts itself so much. So if you follow Islam to the core, you will gain some form of spirituality and enlightenment also. All these religions give you spiritual principles to help enlighten you. Like, every religion believes in fasting. Now, we don't understand fasting until we've started to understand fasting now, because we have science to back it up. But if the indigenous man, or if anybody would try to fast, you feel me, like the Bible tells you, or like the Quran tells you, before science was invented, or before science came out, you would think that it was just experience from whatever book told you to fast, you know. But if you didn't know that what happens to your body when you fast, whether you believe in a God or not, it's an actual spiritual experience that you have when you fast. And the body slows down the digestive system, because the digestive system takes 80% of the energy of your body. Now, when you get that 80% of your energy back, it goes to your brain, and it goes to healing processes in your body. These healing processes will send you through a spiritual trip and a spiritual journey. Now, if you didn't know this, and you thought this was attributed to the religion that you were studying, you would be manipulated by the spiritual experience that was already within you. You feel me? They taking the essence that's already within you, and they presenting it to you as it is, without telling you that it's without of you, so that you will never find it in truth. But we all understand that these spiritual principles that they claim to be getting away from are really just a revamping and a masking of the ancient traditions. Okay, we can prove this by the simple fact that if you want to go into Christianity, right, you want to deal with, let's say, communion. Now, these principles came from us. These principles also, I'm not even gonna say is even cool, because some of these principles in Christianity, they teach you to drink blood and eat flesh. When you register that in your consciousness as something that is the Creator wants you to do, as drink blood and eat flesh of a dead man. Now, we all understand that that is actually a satanic ritual. The eating of flesh and the drinking of blood. That's a satanic ritual. That's what the whole vampire thing is. And that's a dark ritual. They got you doing that in the church. Going right over your head. You're not paying attention that in your subconscious, you are eating flesh and drinking blood of a dead Caucasian. Now, what is that? That is a form of black magic. Visualization. When you do visualization techniques, that is a form of magic. Anytime you use the mind to create an image and you do a ritual with that, you are subduing yourself to the powers of that ritual. And that ritual is enslavement. You feel me? It's associated with all the pain that the beating and the whipping of Christ and the whipping and beating of your ancestors that was associated with. And that's one thing that we gotta get understanding too, is that the whipping and beating of Christ was to set up the subconscious acceptance of you being whipped and beaten by the slave master. And if you can look up to your Savior and your God as being a person who was whipped and beaten, when you taking your whipping and your beating, you would be more likely to accept it. It was all a mind play. And the whole understanding is, if you pay attention to truth and reality, you know that the things that these Caucasians were doing in these missions, which was supposed to be converting people over to Christianity, if you actually do your history on it, you find out it was atrocities. They were killing people, they were torturing people under that, forcing them into Christianity. Now, it ain't not one religion on earth where they had to force nobody under a torch and under the flame and threat of death and all that in order to spread their religion. It was never the point, never the issue. See, and this is what the whole point was. This is why I believe that they came with Islam, was because they needed to figure out another way to mind fuck people. Excuse my language. They needed to figure out another way to manipulate the mind, because they understood that going through with the sword was causing backlash. And I don't give, man, one thing about this, I understand that we are the original people. So the original sin, or the original mess up of slavery started with us. You feel me? We enslaved the Caucasian first. A lot of people don't even understand that issue, is that the word Slav comes from the Slavics. You feel me? Who were the first peoples to be slaves. We had nothing to do with slavery. That had nothing to do with black skin. You feel me? Black skin was always seen as royalty. When they seen a black person, them motherfuckers got out the way. They knew that we was royal and we was Moors. You feel me? They knew that motherfucking we had it popping. You feel me? And we was everything that they wanted to be. Now, it's still some of them that idolize us today, but in that same token, love transmutes into hate. You gotta understand that. You feel me? Because the jealousy factor transmutes that. And we gotta also understand that these people, they tell you who they serve. They serve a jealous God. You gotta understand the psychology of serving a God who's jealous. Someone who's jealous is not sovereign. Someone who's jealous has other competition. You only can be jealous if you got competition. So you can't be the creator of all. Well, we don't even get into that because Christians don't even understand that they scriptures come from Gnostics. The Gnostics believe that the creator of all was not the creator of earth. They believe that the creator of this realm was evil. And the being of flesh was to be in sin. In your skin was to be in sin. They actually spoke against sex because they didn't believe in bringing another body into the flesh, because that they believed that was a sin to bring a body into the flesh. We really don't understand these principles and spiritual principles that our ancestors was dealing with, because they have put it in so many Hollywood movies. They've so much just confused it and made us afraid of this shit and spooked it out the game. I mean, they got us afraid of the 5-pointed star, man. When, nigga, if you stand up and you spread your arms and legs like this, you a 5-pointed star. But they got you niggas shook. Stand up and spread your legs out and your arms out, nigga. You a 5-pointed star. That's the reality. You feel me? But they rather have you dealing on the unreality, which is the physical realm. This shit that you sitting here looking at me through right now. You feel me? Proof that you are immortal, right? Check this out. I ask people this all the time. Can you see with your eyes closed? You're like, no. Every time you go to sleep, your eyes are closed and your body ain't doing nothing but laying there. But yet you are seeing, smelling, tasting, feeling all of that in the dream world. So if that is not real, then why are you having all these sensory perceptions? You feel me? All these senses, this smell, sight. You smell and seeing in this realm. This is real to you? You feel me? So how do you think that the dream world is an illusion? You feel me? Oh, it's an illusion. But it's more real than this reality. Because we understand that the illusion comes from the reality. The illusion is based off the reality. That's one thing we have to understand. That's the as above, so below principle. Is that everything is based off the higher realm. It breaks down and then filters into this physical shit that we see today. But the understanding is the origin and the source is in the higher realm. Off a tangent a little bit. But yeah, back on this Christianity, man. It got spells. Man, we understand that this Bible, the Bible, is really got spells all through it that you don't even understand and know that it's in there. So you don't even understand what you're reading. If you pick up Psalms, it's so many spells in Psalms to call demons out, to call angels out, to cast demons out, to man, it spells in Psalms to heal. It spells on Psalms to communicate. You feel me? With the creators. It's all type of spells. You can go to the Kings. Oh, let's get. Now let me even go to this. I'm gonna show you how cold and sadistic the Bible is, and then go right overhead, because we don't understand that the people that read this book were mystics and spiritualists. You feel me? These people did what we would call magic, but it's not magic. It's just misunderstood science. We got Kings 2:23. Now, this is some cold stuff. Elijah the prophet is walking around, and a little kid jumps up and makes fun of his head, calls him a baldy. Like, you know, if a little kid is playing with you, you know, the little kid jumps up and touches the prophet's head and calls him a baldy. Now, if this ain't black magic, I don't know what it is. This nigga Elijah does a spell, causes 2 damn bears to pop up out of nowhere and eat the child alive. Drag his ass off back into the forest. For the little boy making fun of him. That's some cold shit, huh? That's in the Bible. Now tell me that ain't black magic, bruh. This is the prophet. This is one of the prophets. You feel me, in the Bible? One of the major prophets, one of the major patriarchs of the Hebrew religion. You dig? Had a little boy eating up. with a spell. You dig? Now, that is what our ancestors dealt with. Why the hell we can't do that? Let me call a motherfucker bear out the woods to eat a cracker ass. Nigga, let me learn that. I need to learn some of that shit. We got St. Peter in Acts 5:9. He put a curse on a female and she died. Like it ain't like that. Dropped dead. Oh, St. Peter wasn't no joke. But that don't sound like no Jesus loving. I mean, and then the people that want to get all into the, oh, we don't deal with the Old Testament. Nigga, St. Peter was in the New Testament doing that. I mean, that's only one instance that I wrote down. There's other instances where these people that we claiming as patriarchs in the Bible was dealing with the science. Even we can get further than that. Jesus, when he was visited, guess who visited him? 3 magi. Go look up what the word magi means. 3 magi came to visit him, gave him frankincense and myrrh, gold. All those things are given as spiritual offerings. You feel me? All those things are spiritual herbs and incense. You feel me? Those things are burnt during rituals. And they were called magi. What is the word magi? The word magi means magician. So why would 3 magi, magician, stargazers, are you peeping the science that your ancestors was dealing with? It's going right over our head. We can even go to the Genesis where Cain and Abel. Abel was giving better offerings to God than Abel was. What was he giving them? He was giving them all the good stuff. He was giving them the biggest offerings. That's African spirituality right there. Abel was blessed because he was hooking God up with offerings. Cain was stingy with his offerings. He wasn't trying to give it up. But that ain't Christian. That's African spirituality. So you trying to tell me that we neglecting the fact that we supposed to be giving offerings to God? They was giving offerings. Oh, Christ said he came not to abolish the law, but to fulfill. So if he didn't come to abolish the law, we should be still giving offerings then to the ancestors and more. But we still Europeanized. We don't understand the power in that. And I'm talking mess, I've been slipping on mine, but I'm finna get back on mine. You feel me? Because I need that power, and that power boost comes from your ancestors. Believe that. But I think I'm gonna be done for today. That's enough talking on Christianity and the black magic inside of it. You know, it's all different type of. We can go in the book and reference so many different instances where they talking about sorcery. If you want to even think about going to the tabernacle in the covenant, and when they were dragging that little shrine around in the desert. What you think that was? What did you think the tents was? The incense that they were burning. What you think the slitting of the throats of the goats was? What you think the offerings was? That's not ritualistic magic? That's not ancient traditional magic? That's not African indigenous spirituality? No? Everything that they was doing in the Bible was indigenous to Africa and black people. Now what they came to flip that and take you away from your ancestors was, oh, we got a new covenant. Jesus said we ain't gotta do none of that old stuff no more. Jesus said that all them niggas back there, fooey with them. Jesus said forget that. We on some new stuff. But then in Matthew 5:7 he say, I come not to destroy the law and the prophets. Or the prophets. And then he add on top of that, he say anybody teaching that they should break any of the commandments shall be called least in the kingdom in heaven. So he actually put double ashe on what the prophets and the law spoke. But yet every Christian will tell you, nah, Jesus was tripping when he said that. He came to abolish all that. Even though out his own mouth he said he did it. He came to get rid of all that. That's my belief. Who cares what Jesus said? We don't worry about what Jesus said. Oh, we supposed to worship him? No. But we don't care about what he said. Because he said he didn't come to change nothing. Anyway. Peace.